This is Linda Larson Schlitz, and I am so excited that we are going to be able to offer some classes to my coworkers and colleagues, social workers, counselors, and anyone in that healthcare field that needs to have continuing education units. Okay, this is massively important. I know that, like myself, I work for DWD the last 15, 16 years, and I just retired in August. But, they quit paying for going to these conferences, which for 15 years I'd gone to. And at those conferences, you get to get your CEUs when you go. Well, now we had to start paying ourselves, and we had to pay for staying overnight, and we had to take off work. It was a little bit frustrating, and it just slipped by me. Plus, I ran a nonprofit organization for homeless veterans and other folks, and I just get really busy. And I know that there are those coworkers of mine that are in the same boat. You think, oh, I'll take it over there. I'll wait till another thing comes up, preferably a free thing, and then I'll get those credits in. Guess what? Quit the criminal thinking that you're not going to get caught and they're not going to audit you. I got audited and I flunked, and it's not good. I was able to quickly make things up and get the credits in that I needed. And my problem, some of it is, for those of you who know ADHD, it's not just those naughty kids in school that get it. Some of us adults also have that. I lose stuff. I forget to get it signed, like I did last week. Went to the Ethics and Boundaries class, forgot to get the paper signed. So now I got to call them, and I got to wait till they mail the thing. I got to mail it back in. Oh my gosh, it's a pain. And because I didn't have that face-to-face thing 2 years ago from 11 to 13 or 11 and 12, I have to do it now, and it doesn't count now. So I've got to take another one before March 1st. And I know that there are those of you out there in the same boat. I'm telling you folks, don't wait. Because when they audited a bunch of people. I don't know how many, but the numbers that were not compliant was huge, shockingly huge to them and to the rest of us who heard about this a couple weeks ago at the counseling or the training that we were at. They're going to pull, I think she said, like 1,100 social work licensees this next year for the 13-14 year. And are you ready? Do you have your 30 credits? Do you have the right credits for your profession? I was like dumbfounded on this is scary. So because what I retired to do was education and training, staying at home in my little fake room here where I can still be home, I can get up, I slept in today, I had a nice breakfast with my husband, and now I'm going to do training. I'm going to help you guys not end up having to get audited, because here's the deal. Here's the thing you need to understand, which did not click through me. And I was fortunate I wasn't practicing at the time because I just retired and I'm not doing counseling social work right now. You lose your license. You cannot practice. You can practice if you don't have those 30 credits in. So if they do audit you and you're practicing, you're done. A couple years ago, whenever it was, they changed from July to March. Blew by me, missed it somehow. So my boss comes, Linda, you don't have a license. You can't practice until you get your license. So I had to quickly renew it because I just spaced it. It's important because read it. Read the statutes. If you don't know what the statutes say, come to my free workshop. It's going to be online. I'll do it a few times. I'll record it. You can listen to it in the car. And then you can send in your little quiz that I'm going to give you so I know that you actually listen to it and you know what you're talking about and you're not just faking it like a lot of us do. I think a lot of us have, oh my gosh, was I paying attention? But fact is, I'm going to help you with that. We're going to do these workshops. We've got 3 scheduled, 1 in January, 2 in February for the 4-credit Ethics and Boundaries class that you have to have face-to-face, can't be online. So if you did it online thinking you were good enough, it's not good enough. Got to be face-to-face. Got to be from an agency that is either accredited with PESI or one of the UW systems, or an agency that does this for training other people that is acceptable. And I've been doing this for a number of years. I just started a new organization. This is my new business, and I can help you figure out how to do this for yourself. But it's called Faucet of Hope Ministries. Faucet of Hope, we're all faucets. And I want you guys to understand this, whoever's listening. I want you to understand that you are on this earth with a particular gift that nobody in the world ever has had or ever will have again. You need to be heard. You have a passion for something and knowledge and experience that nobody else ever has. We need to know about it. We need to hear your expertise. So I want to encourage you to consider doing some of these trainings with me and our team to help your coworkers, your colleagues get those credits in before March 1st. The more training we can do for people online, the better it'll be. Now, I've got some folks who, like Wendy from Merrill, she does a thing with dance. Really hard to do that online and get the same effect. So she's going to do something with relaxation and dance and healing and all that kind of thing and teach us that. But I've got lots of things that I've done in the past. I've taught employers on how to develop, and schools, how to develop a mental health friendly workplace or school. How do you set up your policies and procedures? How do you make accommodations? I'm going to be doing one of those classes. I'm going to do some things on the healing of memories. David Siemens, a wonderful Christian counselor who did this. But there's a lot of other folks that do it, and I know Wendy's got some expertise in that. What's your expertise? What are you passionate about? What do you want to teach that fits in with your training? Now, let me tell you about what we got coming up. Excited. I am so excited about this. I had an intern this last year, Myron Daubert. Awesome guy. Hi, Myron, if you're watching. He's from La Crosse. He's a school counselor, or not a school counselor. He's a DWD counselor right now. And he was an attorney working with juveniles and in that court system for many years. Got a ton of things to offer. I have learned so much from him in having him be my intern. He's got his 3,000 hours in now. He's good to go. But his brother works here in Wausau, and he's got a firm. And so I called over there and said, hey, do you have any attorneys that handle lawsuits for people that sue folks like us because we don't have our stuff in, or because we are lacking in some of the things, or we aren't compliant with some of the rules and regulations that some of us don't even know because we haven't had time and we don't pay attention, or we just forget, or we're too impulsive and just kind of blow by it. And sure enough, they have Craig Olofson, who happens to be on the Bar Association Board of Examiners. It doesn't get any better than this. What Craig does is he decides about credits, what we're doing right now, whether or not the training and education for attorneys is good enough. That's what he does. He does the same thing that our Board of Regulation and Licensing does, which they've got a professional services, they got a different name now. I can't keep track of it, but they've got a different name, and that's what our board does. This is what Craig does. Craig does it for the law. He's an expert, folks, on HIPAA law, on setting things up. He consults with businesses on doing their evaluation to be sure that they are going to be compliant, because we're not just dealing with our Wisconsin stuff. And I know there's probably people watching from other states. Check it. If you're licensed, you got rules, and you best be following them. Some of the things coming down are from civil rights kinds of stuff. Okay, what they're doing, they have a goal in coming years. I don't know what their goal, how many years, to evaluate, to come in and audit every single provider and every single business. They're targeting small businesses. And Craig's going to tell you all about this at the Ethics and Boundaries training. He's going to tell you all about what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they're looking for. Holy cow. I don't think I've ever worked anywhere that is in compliance with what we need to do. I mean, working in a cubicle with no confidentiality. And my coworker, John, boy, he always had an issue with that. How can you guarantee confidentiality when you don't have any privacy. Very hard. But seriously, have you ever gone into a clinic and not heard them ask all that confidential information that they swear they won't release, and you're forced to tell it to them right there? Your name, your address, where you work, what's your insurance, your phone, all of those things, what doctor you're seeing, who your family physician is. You got to tell them all that. I watched it this week. I went with my husband to some appointments. And then you're sitting there waiting, and you're hearing people on the phone call up, is Susie Jones there? Dr. So-and-so needs to set an appointment, and, the CAT scan's going to be done on. I'm like, oh my gosh. But here we are, a lot of us mental health counselors, school counselors, social workers, private practitioners. It's huge. There's a lot of things that we need to be aware of. Our other expert that I've known for years, highly respected, one of the most seasoned mental health, substance abuse counselors in our area, because she's had a dual certification from longer before that was a big deal. It's a big deal now. But Sandy Grass, phenomenal counselor. She really is. And she's working up at Potawatomi Reservation right now. And that's part of it for Elmer Green and Associates. But Sandy has learned a ton. She's also getting licensed in a couple other states so she can retire and float around and visit her kids. My dream. It's what I'm doing. You do it. I want you to do it. I want you to retire, being happy, following your kids, your grandkids, being able to go there and do this, sitting in your own house. Wouldn't it be great? Okay, I'm sidetracked again. Sandy is going to teach us how to do case notes so that you don't get in trouble and have boundary issues with things. And think about it. You're in a small town. Everybody knows everybody. You're seeing a client and her sister's your secretary, and her cousin or maybe son-in-law is the insurance person that handles the claims. How in the world do you maintain confidentiality when the laws of Medicare tell you you've got to put all this stuff down? Part of the reason I got out of private practice as a school counselor for 5 years, and I went into private practice, part of the reason I got out of that was having to hang things on people. Adjustment disorder was they weren't going to pay you anymore if it was just an adjustment disorder. So you had to label somebody with something to get paid. Is that ethical? And because now they're labeled for life. I'm one of those. I take medication. I have issues. I can't get insurance. Now it might be different. I haven't checked, but I've got insurance. I'm paying for the state, which, by the way, it's going up to $2,000 and something in January. That's a lot of money, but it's okay. I'm going to be making plenty of it. Sidetracked again. But Sandy is going to really help us with that case noting, how to case note so that if all the relatives and friends and family members are reading these things because it's the rules, you're not going to be breaching as much as you would have been otherwise. But wow, this is crazy. And here's the worst part. Everything's changing in February. In March, everything's changing. The rules are changing for the state because they're going to combine counseling and social work rules, which is great because I'm licensed for both. Counselor, social work license, I got both of them. And I thought they were the same. So I didn't go and read both statutes because I thought they were the same, and they're not. They have different rules. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so I want to help you with that. And Sandy is really going to be an asset, and Craig, because they're abreast to what's changing in March. So fear not. You're going to come and learn all this stuff that we got to tell you now, because I can tell you, your agencies are not going to catch up to the law as quickly as it's changing. But you need to know it so that you can advocate to do the right thing and be sure that your little tushy is covered and you're documenting that you've made every effort to do the right thing. This ethical thing is a challenge, folks. I've really struggled with it my whole life because some of the ethics that we have, I have to question, is it ethical to do some of the things that we are required to do. And now you bring in direct conflict with policies, procedures, and laws to our ethical standards. Wow. These folks are going to help with that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to figure it out as best as we can. There's no perfect answer, but please come. Okay, so I'm starting my workshops online this next week, December 8th, on Monday, during the lunch hour. I'm going to do a workshop online, which you can do for free if you go and register to get my newsletters that are going to tell you about all the different trainings we got coming up. But it's going to be on what are the rules and regulations. I know you can go read them. Go ahead. You can go read them if you want. But, and you should. You better. Because I'm just going to go over them. I'm not going to read every word. You can do that, but I'm going to give you the highlights of what I realized was different between counseling and social work. And that's kind of my main thing I'm going to cover. I'm not going to do psychologists and all those other ones because there are a lot of them the same, but you just need to know your thing. They won't pre-approve any of these trainings. So can I guarantee you're going to get credit for everything? No, I can't. But everything I'm going to present and all the workshops I'm going to offer and have people offer, I am confident that they will count for both social workers and counselors because I've been doing this for a number of years and they've counted for me because here's the other cool thing. This is so cool. I didn't even know this, wasn't doing this in the past. I've been presenting for years for things. I taught at school, I taught at the technical school, I taught for Upper Iowa, I taught for St. Mary's University, I taught for UW Stevens Point for the Upward Bound program. I've done trainings at conferences and at teachers' conventions. All of those would have counted double CEUs for me. I didn't know that. Do you know that? So if you will commit to working with me, and if you've never done a presentation, if you hate being in front of people, guess what? You don't have to be. There's nobody around. Not a soul is here right now. I'm actually in the basement in my stepson's bedroom where his new baby is going to be staying because it's the only place in the house where my glasses don't reflect. Okay, so I don't have a studio yet, but I will have a fancy one. Sidetracked again. But for you, if you put together a training, you call me up, you email me, send me a proposal on what you would like to present. I'll help you put it together. We'll get it online. And we can make some money on it, okay? It's about getting me and you and the people I'm trying to help use their gifts, talents, and abilities to be a big, happy family where we can move forward to do the things that we are passionate about doing, we're good at doing, we know we're on this earth to do. And for a lot of us, especially for a lot of us in the healthcare or the human services, the system doesn't allow us to do what we know we're on this earth to do in the way that we believe or want to be able to do it. Sitting on a yacht or on a cruise. I'm planning a cruise next year. We're going on a cruise to do this. Won't that be cool? The opportunities and options are limitless. So please consider coming to our workshops. The first one's going to be January 15th. Really small group we're going to do at Craig's lawyer's office right here in Wausau. There's going to be a real small group, so that is not going to be open for very long. I'm going to be opening registrations, $80 to go to the 4-hour ethics and boundaries training. First one is January 15th. Second one, February 12th. Third one, February 25th. And you best not wait any longer than that. So I'm going to be right here in Wausau. The other two will be out at the new Business Training Center out on 72nd Avenue. Beautiful place for entrepreneurs. And I'm going there today to work with Romy Wagner on how to get this business off on the right foot. But frankly, there's a lot of things that we need to know that if you want to keep, because if you don't do this, you can't practice. on March 1st, if you don't have these 30 continuing education units in the way that you're supposed to, with the 4-hour ethics and boundaries, license gone. Can't practice. Cease and desist is what it says in the regulations. If you don't have this in, cease and desist practicing. How's that going to fly with your boss? With your company? Probably not very good. So please, please don't procrastinate anymore. On Monday, like I said, I'm going to be doing what is required. What are those rules that you're going, oh my God, I didn't realize. I'm going to go over some of those with you. Also going to do a little bit of a spiel on how to set these things up, how to do some of this training yourself, how to come up with the things that people need and are looking for. So I'm going to go over those two things during that noon hour, trying to target it so if you have a lunch or you can take a lunch from 11:30 to 12:30. I'm going to do that probably on a regular basis. So I'm going to record it so that you'll be able to download it if you want and listen to it in the car. I don't care if you share it. It's going to be free. You're still going to get a CEU for it. So please consider doing that, signing up for that. If you sign up for it, I could even hook you up and send you the link to it so that you can watch it on your own time and then just do the question and answer thing that I'll send along. You get those tests back to me and then I can send you your certificate. Okay, so that's the deal. The future ones are going to be $20 a piece, $20 an hour is all we're going to charge to get those CEUs. Yes, it's going to cost you a few bucks to get this stuff, but you know, we're going to do the best we can to help you in whatever way we can. And I'll also let you know if I hear about any other free things coming up because I'm going to still be going to them. So please come and sign up. Go to my website, Faucet Ministries LLC, like a faucet, and Ministries LLC. Or if you remember, LindaLarsonSchlitz.org, Linda with a I, Larson with an O, Schlitz, like the beer. I started on real young. LindaLarsonSchlitz.org. Either one of those will get you to my website where you can register for the class, get signed up, and don't waste your time. We don't have hundreds of seats to get to these workshops. The first one's really small, the second one's not much bigger, and the third one has got about 60 seats in it. So please don't waste your time. Get registered for these now so you don't miss that. And bingo, lose your license on March 1st. They aren't going to come and take it, but you legally cannot practice if you don't have those in. You'll have to lie about it and then see how to cover your butt later. Not a good plan, folks. Criminal thinking. Don't do it. I'm Linda Larson Schlitz from Faucet Ministries. I hope you'll join us and get moving in the direction that you were created to move. And I'd love to help you with that. That's my mission. Have a great day.